Welcome to Best Car Fixes. This is Muhammad Harun Idris. Please subscribe, share and like. Today we have a car here that it doesn't crank and it is not even running. It belongs to my technician here, my friend Mr. Fritz. So let's go together and see. It is 2005 Jeep Liberty with 3.7 liter. You try to crank it, it doesn't crank. Let's see where is the cranking relay, cranking system work, how it's working, the starter system, and see what happens. Okay, there's a car here, it's a Jeep Liberty. If you try to crank the car, let me show you, I put a charger to charge. If you try to crank this car, you're coming here, you know, this is the older system of ignition switch. That means if you try to start this car, power ground have to come out of here, or power have to come out of here and go somewhere under the hood there to start the car. This car also, it has something called immobilizer or skim module, which is mounted on the top here. Let me move this one. On the top here, you see this piece here? This is the skim module. It's computerized and you have a pin code. If you need to program the car, either you have to open it, read the pin code, or call the dealer by VIN number, get the pin code. If you don't have it, you cannot program this car. Now, the first thing we have to do is to understand how this works. This car I'm gonna take the key out. This car have ignition switch, and it have ignition cylinder, and have a computer that I told you. Here we have one power or maybe two power that coming in, and we have ignition, maybe key in the ignition, and we have a starter signal that going out. As soon as you crank the car, there is a power. Leave this ignition switch. I will let you know what wire is that, and from here it go right away to this fuse box in the front. In this fuse box, you're gonna see this relay. You see this relay here? It have two relay. It have 5 pins. Those are commanding pins. That means you're gonna get a command from the engine computer and command from the ignition switch. But here is the standby power, and one of them, when they connect together, it passes the power from here to the other pin, which means that it will connect these two pins together and the power will go to the starter. Like how? As soon as I crank it, you see here, this is the power that I have in this car. I don't know why I'm not getting power. Yeah, maybe you see here I have 14 volts. Here is constant standby power. If the relay close is jump, here is standby or stand constant and 14 volts. If the relay close, it will bring power here. If I push this button here right now, you're gonna see the engine will crank. Look here, I'm gonna push, look, the engine is gonna move. You see? I push this one here. This one also a good test to know if your starter is good or not. You see? But if you crank the car, power leave the ignition switch, it'll come to one of those pins, and also it will go to one of the computer, which is here. The computer will send ground to the relay if the key is good. If the key is not good, or you have any electrical problem, the computer will will close the system. So the ignition switch, when you crank it, power coming from the ignition switch, leaving the ignition switch in the light blue and red wire. That means if I put this power here like this, if I close this one here like this, I need to go back to my computer here, or I need to go back to the ignition switch and light blue and red, or some kind of wire. Okay, you see there, the ones that all the way by the other side. This one. So this one here, this is supposed to be power, which is here. Look here, this one. This is supposed to be power for the starter power. That means if I put the tester light here and I give a power here, the car will crank. Or at least if I crank it, I should get power here. So I want to be sure that I'm getting it. If I don't have power here in this wire, let me try to open this a little bit. Let me open this place, this tape. I don't have the something to pierce this one, but okay. I'm holding with one hand. Okay, I'm gonna leave this one here. Sorry, I'm gonna have this one. You see this light blue? Light blue. I'm gonna take a little bit of. Sorry, but I gotta put tape later on. This one here. If I put the ignition on, where is the key? The ignition. Okay. Put the ignition and turn. Give me the tester light first. I'm gonna put the key in and I crank it. If I crank it, I'm supposed to get power here. You see here in this place. If I don't have power here, that means something wrong somewhere. Give me the tester light. Just and this one here is just you pull it and it will come down. This is for the connector for those for the signals. It's sitting from the top like this. So I'm gonna go here and put this power, this tester here. You see here, this is a tester, and in this tester at least I'm supposed to get some feedback. Okay, can you go turn the ignition on? Hold on.
It's not ready.
Hold on. Okay, crank it for me. You see, I don't have nothing. Leave it there. Crank it again. Yes, you see now? I did something here. My car is start. And what I did is while I'm cranking, I add a power here and the car is start to run, which means that we don't have no power coming out from the ignition switch. And right now, as you see, my car is running. That means we don't have no power coming out from the ignition switch while we are cranking. So now our problem is that it's not a wiring problem, it's nothing there. Our problem is that from this here, when I crank, you see here, and also if you notice, I don't see no spring back, pushing back. You see, it's very small, but I am all the way here, but it doesn't wanna do anything. By leaving the ignition on, I'm gonna show you again. He's gonna start it. Okay, I'm gonna just put this one here. I don't have nothing. You see nothing. So I'm gonna push the button here. Ignition is on. You see, ignition is on, the car is start. That means I don't have no power coming while you're cranking. And also it's sure that our power is there, the full power is there. If it's not, the car will not start or run. So we know for sure that we have a problem here in this area. Okay, this place here, there is a problem because now we are sure. And don't forget, you cannot crank the car with the ignition on from under there. It may not start because we need to see from this side here a signal going to the computer that crank request. And also if the key is bad, also it will not work. So right now we are good here that our problem is ignition switch here doesn't work. So what we need to do, we are going to move this stuff here and we are going to move those stuff here and we're going to go under this area to check, because on those Chrysler there is some kind of ignition activator or ignition switch, or ignition cylinder activator. Maybe sometime they break. We're going to open this piece, we take it out, and we're going to show you from here how does it look or what is the requirement. Please stay with us, and thank you for watching. And thank you for watching Best Car Fixes. Also, if you crank the ignition, that wire that I show you is supposed to have power here. That wire that you did is supposed to have power here coming from the ignition and go to the relay, which is this one. Okay, so you need to get a wiring diagram to work with those cars whenever you have a problem of electricity. So this is a part one. We are going now to remove the stuff, and then we're gonna work on the ignition switch to see what happened. Subscribe, share, and like, and see you in another video. Watch us in the next video, the same title.